got this story from the Post-Millennial. DOJ Civil Rights Division investigates Portland police over response to Antifa attack on Katie Davis Court and the arrest of Nick Sortor. For those that missed this, many of you may be aware that Katie Davis Court, a reporter for the Post-Millennial, was bashed in the head, giving her a black eye. Just last night or early this morning, depending on where you live, Nick Sortor, a conservative journalist, had been attacked by Antifa, and when he went to the police to report the crime, they arrested him. I've said it before. I said it this morning. I'm going to say it now. The cops in the Pacific Northwest are communists. I'm saying that somewhat to be a dick. They are far leftists. They are aligned with the left. They protect Antifa. Antifa are there under the protection of the police. That is why when Katie was attacked, they did not arrest them. That is why when Nick Sortor got attacked, they arrested him. Now, you can make any argument in the world you want. Actions speak louder than words. But the big news is, check this out. Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights Harmeet Dillon has launched an investigation into the assault of Katie Davis Court and the arrest of Nick Sortor. I believe we actually have this tweet from Harmeet Dillon saying, Portland, it's FO time, buckle up. And then we have this letter published by Harmeet Dillon saying, Portland signed, sealed, and delivered. I'll just read some of this. It says, Dear Mr. Taylor and Chief Day, your immediate attention to this matter is required. We are writing regarding Portland Police Bureau's response to incidents surrounding the ICE facility in Portland, and specifically the city of Portland's use of its policing powers in a manner that may be based on viewpoint discrimination. Specifically, 3 issues have been brought to our attention. PPB reportedly arrested individuals who may have been involved in an altercation, choosing to arrest Nick Sortor but not others. PPB reportedly failed to identify or arrest individuals who allegedly assaulted Katie Davis Court, even after briefly detaining the individuals. And the city of Portland reportedly has attempted to use its policing powers through a zoning enforcement action to limit ICE's use of its Portland facility. She goes on to say, while we have not reached any conclusions on these allegations, we note a consistent theme in these 3 allegations. All 3 would choose one viewpoint over another. Moreover, the allegations implicate the city's performance under the settlement agreement in the above referenced case. They go to mention, Harmeet Dillon mentions more to address our compliance concerns raised by these allegations. We request the following by no later than October 10th. The original unredacted BWC recording of the officer, body-worn camera, involved in the arrest of Nick Sortor, the body-worn camera of the incident involving Ms. Davis Court, all unredacted incident reports for Ms. Sortor and Ms. Davis Court, all complaints received about the incidents involving Mr. Sortor and Ms. Davis Court, or the decision to target the ICE facility for zoning enforcement, all non-attorney client privilege communications regarding their decisions, all non-attorney client privilege communications regarding directions to PPB responding to those protests, and any documents or explanation the city wants to provide to the U.S. in response to the above listed allegations. Now, it sounds fun, but do y'all think this actually has teeth, or it's just talk?
Drew Hernandez pointed out that she misspelled Nick's name. She spelled it Sortor with S-O-R-T-E-R in the first frame for sure. I didn't read through all of it. At the bottom there, you'll see his name spelled with an E. I don't know if that makes she has to reissue this. It's just a.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and I don't know that it really matters because
it's called a harmless error.
Right. It's obvious that she's talking about Nick and what happened. The thing is, the police's job is to keep the peace. So at the microcosm, they're like, well, the reporter is the one that's poking the bear. So let's calm down. Let's take the reporter away and everything will be calm. But you have to zoom out and look at Portland in general, and that these groups that may be, organized and maybe somewhat peaceful in their pretension to destroy, might actually be the chaotic thing. And the reporters that are there might, it's more that Antifa is poking the United States' bear as opposed to the reporter poking Antifa's bear. And the federal government getting involved, I think, shows that. We have cameras now. We have internet. They can't do this stuff in seclusion anymore and hide it.
Ian, we're in America. People have a right to their opinions. And I don't care if he's poking the bear or not. I don't care what his opinions are. He has a right to report from there. The police officers, if they were doing their job, they should have intervened right away when people were attacking him, not wait after the fact to arrest all the parties. I heard that other people were arrested here as well, so I don't know if that is true with what Harmeet Dillon is saying, but obviously, clearly, we've been talking about this for the last few days. This has always been going on. People get attacked, you defend yourself, because I think Nick admitted to trying to swing back as well, and then you get arrested for disorderly conduct, which is ridiculous.
Nick tweeted the night before that if he gets attacked and defends himself, he'll be arrested.
Yeah.
Wow. So he knew they'd target him for self-defense. See, what people need to understand is that Antifa is a sanctioned division within the government. And I mean that not in the hard literal sense, like you're going to go to the government and find documentation of it. But the police protect Antifa because they were effectively privateers for the city to attack their enemies. The Portland police work for the liberal government, which does not want ICE operating. They have a vested interest in protecting criminals. How do they get rid of ICE? How do they obstruct ICE? Well, they can't order police to do it. So what happens is, through circuitous means, they allow Antifa, protect Antifa, and then say, well, there's nothing we can do about it. Then when Antifa attacks Nick, they arrest Nick. Why? Because he's interfering with a government operation. What about Katie Davis Court gets attacked? They don't arrest anybody because those people are allies of the police. This has been true for probably 5 years. We watched this when they did the Chaz Chop. There was one video where a guy got attacked by Antifa and he was backing away with his hands up. Cops pull up behind him, jump out of a vehicle, and grab him and arrest him. And then apologize to Antifa. And that was in Seattle. We know this is what's happening. The feds need to go in. So I hope this has real teeth.
I think it does, because for so long we have seen these groups being completely emboldened by being allowed to get away with this stuff. Everybody turns a blind eye, especially under Democratic administrations. Finally, now that President Trump is laying down law and order and defending, rightfully so, conservative voices, I really believe this is I don't want to say, I do feel that this is actually going to set precedent to future moments of this, because it has to stop. I mean, it's unbelievable, the violence that has been being caused against people who are, like Nick, just trying to spread facts. Thank God for social media, because look at the video. Had we not had that, had we not even had evidence, none of this would even be talked about. And thank God for the movement, because think about everybody who came up to his defense, that it even got to the eyes of the AG.
I feel like Antifa needs what I would call a reality check. And this is actually could be a good thing for the movement of people that are actually anti-fascist. The United States government is not fascist in the sense of Giovanni Gentile's fascism. It was like a spiritual religious movement of like, we are all one, we are all individuals, but we are also all connected. We are all one. And the state is the manifestation of that. And so we are all, the state speaks for us. The state is the greatest force of all of us. And it became this religious zeitgeist in Italy that Mussolini then took, and he made Gentile his, minister.
So your point?
So my point is, if we don't have a country like that, that's not how our country works. People don't have religious adoration. I mean, now you can see people, it might spark up. People are like, good, govern me harder, daddy.
Ian.
Give me the feds. Give me the feds. That can lead to fascism. But in the meantime, we're more of a corporatocracy.
This conversation, and I don't mean this to sound disrespectful, but the things you're saying are 2018.
People, they need to hear it, though. People that are Antifa and they think they're actually challenging fascism are in the wrong.
That's, again, that's why I'm saying this conversation is 2018. These people don't think they're Antifa. They do not believe they are fighting fascism. They are either completely devoid of any thought at all, or they are intentionally lying for the purpose of fomenting violence.
Last night you talked about the green shirts, the yellow shirts, and the red shirts in Antifa. And I think the green shirts truly believe they're fighting fascism and don't know what fascism is.
Who's paying
but
them,
this is the point. The point is they don't know what fascism, communism, anti-fascism is. They don't know what Antifa is. They've never heard of these things. And they are just there because someone invited them to come down, and they don't know anything.
So I'm speaking to those people.
This is a very, very important distinction. And this is 2025. The conversation has advanced. There was Joe Rogan mentioned this, and I had this critique throughout the week, that he said these people really thought that Charlie was a bad guy and that they were good people. Joe is incorrect in that assessment. The reason why the lies about Charlie were able to work on the left is because the left never heard of him before. So another good example is I'm walking around the city today, and I get recognized all the time, and I've got security. We'll keep it at that. And in these conversations, one points out, I'd say, people seem to notice that whenever someone comes up to me, they're a fan. That's right, because in the actual political space, the people who are apprised of politics know what they're talking about, see me and say, I know who you are Tim Pool, I'm a fan. Liberals see me and don't know anything. So the instances where I encounter someone who doesn't like me are exceedingly rare in public, because the average liberal has no idea what is going on in politics, and you need only look at politics. You know who's a great follow when he unlocks his account is Jess Margera. Steve Bannon talks about how you got to watch MSNBC so you know what they're thinking, and he's right. I like to follow Jess Margera. He's Bam Margera's brother, but he locks his account from time to time, and he makes posts where you're like, okay, I see how they're thinking. They've not even Google searched this. The example being the reason for this shutdown. Very simple. If you turn on MSNBC, they're going to have Democrats going, we are like Schumer or some Democrat will go, there is no healthcare benefits for illegal immigrants. We are not requesting it. We are not offering it. There, I said it. Case closed. And the liberals go, well, there it is. Why are Republicans lying? If they actually were telling liberals the truth, they'd say, and the reason is because we deem that anybody who enters the country illegally and then makes an assertion of legal status, we pause and say, this is now legally permitted. So the Democrats don't actually tell liberals what's going on. They just lie to them. That's the important thing. The people who are out on the ground at ICE don't know what ICE does, don't know what CBP is. If you went to these people and said, what does ICE stand for? They'd say, get out of here. If you said, what does CBP stand for? If you said, what is USCIS? They'd go, huh? That's the point. They're not fighting fascists. They are just devoid of thought. The people who organize these rallies and the liberal high priests who communicate and rally them online know they are lying intentionally. Like Hassan Piker posing in front of what kind of car did he buy? He bought like a Maserati or something. Like, come on, dude. This guy lives in a mansion. He's not an anti-capitalist. He's a grifter. That's the point. All these people are lying.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.